Hi, my name is Will Davidson. If I didn't get to shake your hand, say hi. I'm working for Audinate, the creators of Dante. And I think I just got to settle my nerves briefly by saying this feels very much like a pilgrimage. I have only ever worked in media and entertainment. I started in high school doing audio. I worked my way all the way up through college, where I attended BYU, Idaho, which has a fairly significantly large broadcast facility where I became media systems engineer after many, many student jobs in the AV space. I then went to Portland, Oregon to work for the film studio, Leica, stop motion animation. And then I came here to teach people how Dante works. So it's super humbling to be in the presence of people who speak my language. I heard that you're looking for Evertz Magnum router experts. I like hearing that. I spent time on a system that was Evertz Magnum. Don't ask me any questions. That was I got nothing for you. But yeah, so I just want to say thanks for having me. But let's. I just want to ask a question. How many of your facility sites have networked audio or video right now? Okay, perfect. That gives me kind of a sense for where I need to start baseline-wise. So this slide deck is fairly sales heavy. I am the technical trainer, so I'm not afraid of any questions. If there's something technical you want to ask, let's do it. But let's make sure we're all on the same page first. And I promised that I would stay on camera for you folks on Zoom, so I will do that over here. Firstly, I work for Audinate. Audinate is the creator of Dante, so just real quick, we are a global company. I'm on calls at 7 a.m. with people in the UK, and then I'm on calls late in the evening with our headquarters in Sydney, Australia. The benefit of this is we are paying attention to many markets, many verticals across the globe. And the main core goal of networked audio and video is to transition away from point-to-point systems, which have their inherent limitations, to an interconnected network connectivity. And this is actually where I'm going to segue with the, can I get the handheld mic? Because I'm going to hand it over to Devin, who is a key part of this Dante story. Devin represents Netgear, a switch manufacturer, who I'm sure you're aware of. And I will preface just a bit. Netgear is one of many switch brands we work with, but Netgear is a very good partner of Audinate. So if you come to our in-person training in the Portland lab, we use Netgear switches. It's a great platform. And I want to hand over a few minutes to Devin to talk about the Netgear.
Thanks, appreciate it, and thanks for having us here. You know, it's been quite a journey. I've been in the broadcast and AV business my entire career. I came to Netgear about 6 years ago, and we really built the AV business, but we built that by listening to what the customers needed. It started really in the commercial AV space, and one thing that we talked to integrators, we talked to consultants, and the most complicated thing when it came to AV over IP networks was really the network switch. They understood how to configure things, but they didn't understand command line interface. They didn't understand things like IGMP and PTP. And we wanted to simplify that, and we went down a path of working with many manufacturers out in the marketplace. And so that really helped us to build the AV UI, and we'll go over that. But the AV UI consists of our partnerships with, it's now up to 575 different manufacturers, where we've created profiles to reliably be able to pick a port and configure what's going to happen on that port. So it could be Dante or Dante AV, or maybe on a port you're going to be doing intercoms and you're doing Riedel or RTS or ClearCom. So we've done all that hard work for you to really simplify it so you can focus on the things that you need to focus on. We're on a journey right now where broadcast is extraordinarily important to us. And so the first versions of switches that we had came out, did great things with supporting 1 gig workflows, you know, things that Dante's doing, but there was a need in this marketplace as we were listening once again to our customers to support SMPTE 2110. And so about 1.5 years ago, we started to produce our first switches with Grandmaster clocks, boundary, you know, capabilities built into them. and we continue to expand that. So I want this group to know that we're focused here. We now have over 10 switches that will support those SMPTE 2110 workflows, and I've got more coming out. Those include switches that will do 1 or 2.5 gig all the way up to one that comes out and is shipping next week, which is doing 100 gig workflows. The work that I'm doing on my side, I work with all the manufacturers. So I'm helping to create all those profiles. So companies that are testing this equipment, validating it, or will be carrying it soon are companies like Ross, Grass Valley. Riedel already carries our switches. So we're doing that hard work of going through the validation to really simplify these things. So when it comes to the switches, if there's something that we need to do to help ease the configuration of those, you can always reach out to us. One thing that I'd like you to walk away from here with is on that table over there is one piece of paper, and it's a quick kind of view of all of our AV lined up switches. So, this will be giving you what the PoE budget is, if it's 1 gig, 10 gig, 100 gig, if it supports SMPTE 2110 or not. So for those people that are doing the designs out there, this is like a lifesaver. So it's just a quick cheat sheet as to what all of our switches are doing. The other card that's over there is a little business card, and it's our Pro AV design team. Our Pro AV design team is fantastic. And so we don't want you calling our 800 phone number if you need support. We want you reaching out to the guys that really understand the AV and the broadcast market. We're in kind of a unique place that Netgear has partnered with so many manufacturers that we have all of this equipment in our labs. So our sales engineers have access to, if you're mixing and matching, a Dante product with an intercom system that's out there, and we can really troubleshoot any of these complications that are going on. So Netgear is here to support, this market. We're expanding into the broadcast side of things. You're going to see bigger, more powerful switches coming out from us. Everything in the future is going to support 2110. So I know I've talked to many of you here. Many of you are using our switches. Some are not. But please reach out if we can help in any way. Appreciate the time.
All right, thanks, Devin. Okay, so I wanted Devin to speak, partly because he's really good to us, but then also we can't do any of the things we want to do with distribution and flexible routing without the concepts of networking. Now, Dante is more than just its endpoints and the endpoints that live on a network, and you'll see how this slide will be broken down in the presentation. Yes, we do transport over the network, but we also have software endpoints. We handle management for secure control of your devices so you don't have to worry about rogue changes during a show. And we also ensure that all of this is done with partnerships with manufacturers. So manufacturers aren't left to their own devices to decide how they're going to interconnect using Dante. We ensure that all the manufacturers are playing in the same sandbox, maintaining the same standard when it comes to video and audio. And anyone who touches a Dante system will be familiar with our primary software called Dante Controller. It's a single viewport into all routes. It looks like a simple matrix. So here's a little snippet of a small system. So there's several devices that act as transmitters, receivers, and you simply expand any cross point like you would on a router. You check the box between the two connections and you get a green check mark, and that confirms that the two devices have negotiated the correct communication type and they have made what we call a subscription. And it's the same whether it's for video or audio. Now, in addition to our primary tool of Dante Controller, which is accessible to anybody for free once they buy Dante products, they go to our website and download the software, we also supply management tools as a paid add-on, whether it's on-premise via Dante Domain Manager or in the cloud, which is what I'm running the stuff on the back table with via Dante Director, and I've got whole slides on that later in the presentation. But why Dante? Why would you pick Dante? Well, there's a couple reasons. One of them is really important to you, and one of them is very salesy. We're the biggest. That's why you should choose Dante. When it comes to networked audio, this is specifically an audio review. Oh, you know what? It's been updated. It includes video as well. So we're seeing ST2110 as well as SDVOE and NDI. We have the most number of endpoints. Okay? Yeah, go ahead. That's a really good question. And I've been done a disservice by our marketing team because they didn't break it down. I should have that number and I don't because I'm technical training, not sales. Totally valid question. And the important piece isn't actually the numbers to me. The important piece is we are fully engaged to SMPTE 2110 audio interoperability. Okay, I know your sphere of influence goes beyond just audio, but we're fully on board with SMPTE 2110 audio and AES67 audio. The way we want manufacturers to see us, if the customers are asking for AES67 and SMPTE 2110 audio, they should be making it a Dante product because it will do all of that for the customer. But yeah, very good question on the video. If I have some time, I'll look it up and get you an accurate number by the end of the day. That is a safe contact point. Will will have that answer. And I'm sorry if you were expecting the other Will. Will Waters is a product marketing manager over software and video over at Audinate. Yeah, the question was how many of the devices here in this bar chart represent represent video products. This certainly includes our audio products, so I think there should be a valid misgiving about this chart. But our video products are still significant, and I want to get you that number. Yes?
So, I get it, it's all different. But, do you have, are there other, manufacturers that are fully, rated, compliant with you guys?
I think I get the question. You're asking.
If I buy another piece of equipment, can I integrate with you guys?
If it's capable of AES67 audio and SMPTE 2110 audio, yes.
With your stuff?
With our stuff. Yeah. Yeah, if they can do AES67 and SMPTE 2110, we can interoperate. That's our interoperate
The
channel.
only reason I ask
Yeah.
is so many times that I go and I buy something and then it said, oh no, if you buy this, if you bought mine and it's cool, but if you don't buy this,
I do. So, so I'll give you the caveat because of course there are always caveats. Not every Dante device will be compatible based on its age. We don't control what manufacturers continue to support. We only control the firmware we give them. So a manufacturer may have made an audio device 10 years ago. We've added AES67 interoperability and SMPTE 2110 interoperability more recently than 10 years ago. We can't guarantee that 10-year-old Dante product would function with the new capabilities we've added. However, I have yet to run into a Dante product that isn't capable with all current Dante products. What I mean by that is old Dante products still work, even if the manufacturer has stopped supporting them. And that's pretty freaking cool to me. All right. Yeah, great questions. No, it's not a secret. Dante is a closed system. Manufacturers have to license Dante from Audinate. So it is. I'm not saying open standards are bad. I'm going to time out right there. All networked AV protocols, doesn't matter what it is, have similarities. We are beholden to the same bit gods as everybody else. There will always be similarities across protocols. If you want to get into the nitty-gritty, that's great. I personally don't think it will actually impact your purchasing decision or the operation decision when it comes to tying signals together. I do think it's a really good question, and I'm answering it by saying AES67 and Dante will always have similarities. If you want to know more about them, happy to talk about afterwards. Is that okay? Cool. Sweet. It's a great question. Yes. Correct. So I'll rephrase for those who may not have heard. The experience was in Dante Controller, the software I showed you, AS67 streams show up in Dante Controller, and that's part of the interoperability story. All right, this is already fun. Okay, bear with me on this slide. It's kind of just compartmentalizing what we do. First is hardware for audio manufacturers. Then we have kind of the end points, the things that you'll see day to day. They could be small channel count audio devices that we ship called Avios. It could be our software tooling like Dante Virtual Sound Card or Dante Via, or it could be the management and control software like Dante Controller or DDM, and Dante Director is missing from this slide for some reason. But also for manufacturers, we do our video products with Dante AV Ultra. Software video is done through Dante Studio, and there's what I was missing. There is a couple of other options with Dante Connect, Dante Director, and we have two other codecs called AVH and AVA. Hold your questions there. We're going to go through all three codecs. First off, though, audio. I'm going to skip through this because I think we're more concerned about the video story. This is what's current. There's a lot of legacy Dante audio platforms, but today, if you are a manufacturer, these are the choices you would have to choose from. And if you're looking for a way to explore Dante audio, these are our low channel count Dante audio devices. They go anywhere from $150 all the way up to $280 in the case of a Bluetooth 2-channel Dante receiver. So just some options if you want to explore, but you don't want to commit financially on more expensive equipment. Software-wise, we've got Dante Virtual Sound Card and Dante Via. One thing about Dante Virtual Sound Card, it's a way to have software act as a virtual interface. So if you're familiar with plugging a USB interface like an RME or Focusrite or any other audio interface onto a computer, we do that via software with DVS. It's another great way to try out Dante because you can trial any of our DVS licenses for 30 days and see if it's going to work in your environment. I do want to point out that this is a recent addition that we've done. Our virtual sound card software will do 128 by 128 audio channels, which is pretty significant when you look at the pricing. It's a software subscription. I don't know the pricing because, again, I'm not in sales, but it's significantly cheaper than you would pay for a hardware device. Being in broadcast, however, hardware devices inherently come with certain stability requirements, dual power supplies. It's just an alternate option for whatever scenario you might want to do a software-based solution. It does have some minimum computer requirements, and those can be found on our website. Okay, real quick, Dante Via is a low channel count, kind of consumer-driven software. It allows you to send audio channels from the network into tools like Zoom, Teams, OBS, any software that will see an audio interface. It also allows for those softwares to interroute without a wider Dante network. So it's a pretty clever software, but kind of has some tricks that are standalone. Okay, so here's the kind of the meat of the presentation, Dante AV, Dante Video. And someone said that I can't get away from this meeting without talking about compression. So here you go. We're going to do it in the context of a codec triangle. I think this corner of the triangle should be pricing. It better reflects what matters to you, the end user, but product marketing makes these slides, not me. So let me just break it down. You're all familiar with uncompressed 12G SDI. That's 12 gigabits per second. Most networks today are 1 gigabit per second networks. We cannot send uncompressed 12G SDI video signals across the majority of networks today, unless you are going to order one of those fancy new shipping next week switches from Devin. Regardless, however, we didn't take the approach of uncompressed video. We took the approach of let's make a solution, a set of solutions that will meet the widest variety of customer needs by balancing quality, latency, and pricing/bandwidth. As I just mentioned, all of our solutions are pretty low bandwidth. They all can work on a gigabit connection. That's the cool part. And the three codecs we have are AV Ultra, Dante AVH. We have a software that works with those two codecs called Dante Studio. You can run this on the Windows PC. It allows for a small portable vMix rig, OBS rig to run 4 channels of AVH or 3 channels of AVH and 1 channel of AV Ultra as virtual inputs onto your computer. Now, when it comes to control, same tools apply to video as they do to audio. Dante Controller, Dante Domain Manager, and Dante Director. Our final codec, which is really geared towards mass distribution with high quality, is Dante AVA, and I'll talk about where these fit in different industries. For the majority of this room, AV Ultra is the SMPTE 2110 competitor. It does a lot of cool stuff. First off, you can put it on a gigabit network today without doing a mass redesign of your network infrastructure at your facilities, and it will pass 4K 60 frames per second 444 video at less than 1 frame of latency at 60 frames per second. I think that's pretty darn cool. So here's that spec. Now, when it comes to codec, originally we designed with JPEG 2000. Many of you should be familiar with the quality standard of JPEG 2000. That, of course, is the cinema standard. One caveat, of course, is JPEG 2000 wasn't really built for real-time media delivery. So we have a visually equivalent codec called Calibri. Still meets that same visual standard that you've come to expect with JPEG 2000. And we also have 8 channels of embedded audio accompanying an AV Ultra device. You are the right audience for this. I am disappointed that we did not do the full 16 of embedded SDI. I don't know why. It makes me sad inside. So this is the only group that I think I owe an apology for only doing 8. All right, so if there's any questions about this chart, it's all online. I'm going to move on to our next codec, which is really about getting signals many places as low bandwidth as possible. So AVH is built on the H.264 codec or the H.265. It's dependent on the manufacturer's choice. And that allows you to send extremely low bandwidth signals. Unlike AV Ultra, which is about 700 megabits per second, you can get this down to about 20 megabits per second. So you can actually do multiple video feeds without a heavy load on your networking infrastructure. AVH really has a home in lightweight distribution, conference room situations, hotel distribution, areas where the latency is not a huge concern. We're not doing lip sync. We can handle a lower cost device with a higher latency, and it's going to do the job just fine. It still has decent quality. It is higher latency because it is the, let me get this right, interframe codec. So we're taking more time to process, therefore lower latency, 10 to 50 megabits. I see around 20 normally, and there's 2 channels of embedded Dante audio. Our final codec, Dante AVA. AVA is built on a specific ASIC chip called the A-Speed, and it allows for manufacturers to make these high quality, lower cost, high bandwidth distribution. So there's not 8 channels of audio, there's 2 channels of audio. This is really geared towards stadiums, hotels, airports, places where you're sending the exact same video feed to hundreds of destinations, but you still want low latency and high quality. This is AV Ultra. I'm going to skip that one for now, because here's the complete breakdown. If you want a picture, that's fine. It's also on our website. You can just search Dante AVA, and there's a little comparison chart. And it keeps us up to date on any changes that we make in the future. All right. Now, that is the choices you have when dealing with Dante AV devices. They are not intercompatible. Each codec must connect to its own codec. They're completely different algorithms, that's why. But they are all controllable from the same platform, including Dante Studio, like I mentioned. This is a software which allows you to share a computer screen or bring in camera feeds from the network into software tools. All right, any questions on that kind of fast overview of Dante AV? Yes?
I see Dante being more as a distribution format versus production. So NDI, 2110 and more production based. Are you seeing Dante going into the production world or is it more?
I think that's a fair analysis. Um, the it's not a secret that what Dante AV lacks is a video switcher. If you were trying to switch to Dante AV Ultra in a full switching environment, well, as you can imagine, you'd need an encoder-decoder pair on each signal. That's unrealistic. So I think your analysis is fair. Do I think it reflects the future? I guess that's dependent on customers and manufacturers. Yeah.
So I have a real world,
Okay.
who can I call to help me out to inherit it?
That is a great question. Our website, we maintain a page of certified Dante integrators. And you can start with any one of them. There's about 8 in the US. But really any significant, I know there's some ASG folks here. There you go. They will have Dante. Yeah. Yeah. So good question. The official answer is check the website, but you've got plenty of friends in the room. Yeah. You want to stay ahead of it. I get it. In fact, it's coming quick and plentiful. This is the nightmare scenario of some facilities where Dante works, it's got great control, so you keep buying it. And this is the problem you run into pretty rapidly, where it's the equivalent of a 3-rack wide SDI patch bay or TT patch bay without labels. It's a nightmare. It just gets crazy. You don't want to deal with it anymore. Well, we have a solution for you. It's management. So when we talk about Dante systems, we have 2 flavors: unmanaged, meaning the lack of our paid management software, and managed, meaning you're running Dante Domain Manager or Dante Director. Dante Domain Manager is an on-premise solution. It's what we teach you about if you come to our Dante Mastery Certification class in Portland, Oregon, taught by myself and my coworker, Justin. And it's a way for you to ensure secure operation of your Dante ecosystem, either video or audio. So some of those pieces of the puzzle that DDM will give you is control, scalability, security, monitoring, and then continuous logging. Everything you would expect from a central management server. So when it comes to organization, we take all the groups of devices and we break them into regions: studios, comms, use cases, spaces. However you want to group them, you can group them the way you want. So we go from a really messy and just unmanageable system in Dante Controller, and we shift over to an elegant, user-focused control interface. What happens is there's a domain dropdown, and you can have different domains geared towards the EIC or technicians or colorists or comm engineers, whatever you have in your facility, whether post, broadcast, what have you, you can create a safe space for your teams to do their work with Dante signals. That includes what they're allowed to do. You can have people with visibility only, with edit permissions, or full management. It's totally up to you in the entire management platform. Yes? This is a very good question. So the question for those on Zoom and those on the other side of the room: does Dante Domain Manager assume anything about the network? I'm paraphrasing. No, it doesn't. You can use the management tools on a flat layer 2 network. You can use the management tools on a completely routed network. It's up to you. Does that answer your question? Now, there is one caveat. You cannot, and this should be intuitive to those of you who do networking, we cannot centrally management link local systems. If you're running a system without proper addressing, proper meaning static or DHCP, no service is built for link local. I mean, that shouldn't be a secret to anyone who does networking. Okay, in terms of information with our management tools, Dante Controller has a lot of the information that you would expect from a control software. It will tell you information about how quickly media is getting to a device before it uses the buffer to play out synchronously. It will tell you information about clocking accuracy. So in the age of house reference, where we're distributing all from a central service, PTP is the protocol that we use to clock devices. It's a fun one. Instead of a clear hierarchy tree, all the devices get to talk about who the clock leader is. And there's a whole 4-hour discussion in Dante Mastery class where I teach you how to think about PTP in the networking age, because it is different from how we've done it in the past. I really enjoy it, so if you like my presentation style and you want to learn it, come out to Portland, Oregon. Now, the management software differs from Dante Controller because Dante Controller is only going to capture information while it's launched on your computer and connected to the network. Dante Domain Manager is actively gathering information from your devices, which means you'll have a continuous log of information. In the case of Dante Director, which is a few slides later, I'll even show you where we can get even better telemetry information. Now, this is geared towards your question. Are there any assumptions? Nope. We can use VLANs. We can make routed networks. Everything is possible with DDM. Now let's get to a slide that you will find interesting. SMPTE 2110 and AES67. There's a lot of conversations about it. Any one of you take my card. If you just want to see a 10-minute demo of this in action, let's get on a Zoom call. I'm happy to make that call. I can do it in 10, 15 minutes and show you visually what it looks like. Right now, to do SMPTE 2110 audio, which has some more configuration for PTP, we reserve that functionality in Dante Domain Manager today. However, at ISE, we announced that Dante Controller, the free software, will have all the functionality to do what you need to do with SMPTE 2110. And the big caveat here is you can do all the functionality that SMPTE 2110 does at your own risk. Without the management software, you must know how it functions in order to maintain a system that works properly. So it's kind of a, hey, use it at your own risk, but we're happy to give that functionality for people who need like one device functionality versus whole facility interoperability. If you're doing a whole facility interoperability for AES67 or SMPTE 2110, I highly recommend our management softwares because they help you ensure all the clocking settings are maintained across all the devices.
Is that right? So, if I go in, I can use it right now.
I will show you in just a minute. Oh, please. Dante, it will maintain clocking configuration for Dante hardware. All right. I don't want to overextend. All right, so Dante Director, here's the cool thing. Dante Director is a cloud platform. I know in broadcast there is a lot of opinions about SaaS or cloud-hosted platforms. I'm totally accepting of that. DDM is your on-prem version. Dante Director is the version that's going to get all the new features fastest, including stuff like telemetry and cloud remote configuration. So something, I got my timer here running, but something you can do is I can actually make changes to the routes on my devices back on the table from my phone right now. And I can do that because I'm using Dante Director. I think that's pretty freaking cool, which is why I take the time to set it up, even though I don't always use it. And that means that we get the global engineer who's in a completely different time zone, helping someone in a completely different region make sure their system works. We all love little smiley faces confirming things are working. Okay, so quick breakdown. Where is DDM going to fit versus Dante Director? It's really a scale and whether you need remote access. If remote access is priority, take a look at Dante Director. If massive scale and on-prem is your priority, DDM is the solution. Both come with a managed API, which allow both platforms to integrate with just about any tool that will do API calls. However, Crestron, AMX, and BitFocus all have pre-baked recipes, if you will, to make sure that you can make subscriptions via API. But yeah, anything that can make an API call will work with our platforms, Dante Domain Manager and Dante Director. All right, let me check where I'm at slide-wise. We're looking good. So let me just wrap up by showing you what's possible in a workplace environment, a lecture hall, distributed AV, or live event. All of those are completely Dante-centric designs. But now I want to tell you about Dante Connect, because you are the people that might use this. Dante Connect is a way to send uncompressed audio globally. I'm not going to pitch you on cloud production. I assume you've got plenty of other vendors and manufacturers that have pitched you on the value of cloud production. So I'm going to focus on what our solution does. It delivers uncompressed audio anywhere around the world via Google Cloud, AWS, or Microsoft's Azure, using a collection of our software toolings. So you will, if you want to do Dante Connect, if you need to send uncompressed audio around the world at extremely low latencies, then you can partner with an integrator, and I don't know that list off the top of my head, so if you're interested, I'll get you in touch with our sales engineer, Carl, who lives in the area. He'll happily come out and talk to you. But we include our management software, and we include a couple of custom tools specifically for this application. Dante Gateway is a buffering engine, effectively, so that when you send uncompressed audio to a cloud server, you can buffer that audio to play out within that cloud environment. That's its job. And that's for uncompressed audio. If you have a broadcast situation where an announcer or an MC is talking via their phone, we have software tools like remote contribution and remote monitoring. Those take advantage of WebRTC, if you're familiar with that, and it allows compressed audio to be delivered into the cloud environment and mixed or delivered thereon uncompressed to your broadcast facilities. So Dante Connect is a collection of tools, not a checkout over-the-counter solution, okay? It requires expertise, it requires partnership with an authorized person who knows how to build these environments, but it's being done. There are broadcasters that are doing this. In fact, some of you, if you ask around, might even figure out who is. So, I don't know. All right, I'll close out with this. Everything I've shared with you, whether for you or your teams, we have an extensive training program with tens of hours of in-depth technical review on everything I've shared. And it's majority of it is free to you and comes with a certification. So the free certifications are level 1, 2, and 3. Then if you need a technician who operates a Dante system day-to-day to be qualified and confident in their skill sets, there is a paid in-person class, the one I've mentioned a couple times, called Dante Mastery. That's the one, anyone who relies on Dante should be coming to Dante Mastery. Okay? It's $1,500, it's 4 days, we feed you breakfast, lunch, and we take you out to dinner one of the days. It's a good time. I mean, I enjoy it. Let me rephrase. Anyway, so thank you for allowing me to present. That is what I have. It is now time to do a giveaway.
We're going to do our giveaway, and thank you. Thank you, Will.
Thank you.
All right. So how we're going to do trivia is Will has graciously set up a few questions. What we're going to do is each table, first round is going to be by table. And so each table, if you get the question right, then we'll go on to the next stage. And then when we come to the last table, we'll have all compete on that table as far as trivia is concerned. You know, the person who gets the closest to the right answer of that table gets the product.
All right, we ready? Let's do this. Okay, as a table, you're going to answer the first question. They're going to be rapid fire, and they're going to be easy and harder. Okay, here we go. What is the cloud product that allows management of all Dante devices? What is the cloud? Talk to your table. Don't give it away. This is a competition here. All right, everyone got an answer as a table? What do we got? DDM, you're out. You're out. You're out. What do we got? Oh, Dante. Oh, you got to come to a conclusion. As a table, you got to come to a conclusion. Dante director and Dante director. Okay, we got 2 tables. Very, really good. All right, cool. Now, sorry. Yeah, so Dante director. The question was, what is the cloud product that allows management of all Dante devices? It is Dante director. DDM is on-prem. Okay, and Dante Connect is the broadcast delivery mechanism. All right, 2 tables. Here you go. Which Dante video codec is best for low bandwidth video distribution? Discuss as a table, don't. Okay, you ready? I think they might still be determining. Don't say it yet. You guys got an answer? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What is it? Okay. Oh, AV. What did you say?
Highest bandwidth, right?
What did you say?
Highest bandwidth?
Nope. What did you say? Lowest bandwidth. I heard AVH and you said AVA first. I'm gonna give it to this table. All right, AVH is correct. Okay, now it's between. Yeah, individual. You ready? I'm gonna skip that one. Well, do any of you know what the first Dante product was? If you know that, I'll give it to you right now. Okay, moving on. What is the name of Dante's parent company? Okay, so did you know? All right, so we got these 3. Where is Audinate based? You're out. What did you say? Brett Kavanaugh. There we go. All right, we got a winner. It was Sydney, Australia. Well done.
All right, everyone. All right.
Those weren't even the hard questions.
Give another round of applause for Will from Dante and Nick here. And that is our March STE meeting. Thank you, everyone. And next one will be April the 30th due to NAB. So that's when our next meeting will be. And we'll see announcements for the program for that coming out soon. All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night.